for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Hybrid racetrack, blending the speedway's high bank turns with the challenges of a technical road course. With this unique combination of elements, the Roval has become a fan favorite known for producing unpredictable and thrilling competition. As drivers navigate the track's demanding layout, fans can expect a race filled with close calls, dramatic passes, and plenty of unexpected twists and turns. Live from the Roval, it's the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, presented by Racing Revolution. I'm your host and producer, Morgan Cook, and alongside me, as always, Alex Gagnon. Back in the commentary booth, we are on V-Speed.
The privilege to be back. It's been a couple of weeks, a crazy couple of weeks to say the least, but coming back at the prime time, the cutoff race here for the round of 12, and boy, do I think we're going to have a crazy one in store tonight.
Definitely prime time indeed, as we're here at the virtual Charlotte Roval for the Neighbors Helping Neighbors 125, presented by the Blue Ridge Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company. The Blue Ridge Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company is a fire department within the Blue Ridge Mountains of Northern Virginia. We proudly serve our community with the goal of neighbors helping neighbors. Working together with the community, we'll be there for those in need. For more information, please visit our website at blueridgefire.org. We mentioned it a few times already. It's a cut-off race. Who will take one step closer to the Cup this season? Points look like this. Jeremy Burns locked in with that win at Kansas. Everybody else not safe, not quite yet. 18 separates second from the cut line. And there are a lot of drivers who are nervous about the Roval tonight.
Yeah, and for good reason. You can see particularly 7th through 12th only separated by 17 points tonight. And, if someone like a Tyler Harrison or Parker Johnson down there get a couple of stage points on there tonight, it's going to make that gap even shorter. And even folks as high up as 3rd, 4th, 5th, like Travis Gilbert, Carter Lynn, sure, they're sitting in the top half of this group, but barely clear of that cut line. Everyone in this group tonight is going to need to perform. The only person who should feel particularly comfortable, I think, tonight, not just because it's the road course, but because of the point situation, is Jeremy Burns. After that, there is a whole lot that can get shuffled around here tonight.
Absolutely. Nobody is safe except for the driver trying to make it 5 for 5 on the road courses, Jeremy Burns. But before that, let's talk about the Charlotte Roval and this place, which was built purely for fan entertainment, I have to imagine, as it has zero flow as a road course whatsoever. They just kind of slapped a road course in the middle of an oval, and here we are. What do you think, Alex?
I think you couldn't be more right. I think they really said, we have this infield course. We have an oval. That's a pretty famous thing. What if we tried merging them together? And that's how the Roval was born. And that's how we're going to see a lot of unique passing zones. You wouldn't see at any other road course, particularly because of how beautifully clunky this track is laid out. Multiple chicanes, a couple of hairpin turns. You're going to see a lot of opportunities to pass here tonight. And particularly what you see right there, turn 7, I think that is going to be a monster of a challenge tonight for the drivers in the field.
Quick race analysis, 54 laps tonight. Pit road speed is 40 miles an hour, 5 tire sets. You'll probably only use one of those. No full course cautions other than the stage at lap number 12. Important to note, 18 to 20 laps on fuel. Let's go have a look at your Coastal Financial Pole Award winner, and I bet you guessed it, Jeremy Burns, once again going to sit on the pole at a road course. I think that is all 5 of them this season, if I'm not mistaken. Might have to get fact-checked on that. Regardless, Jeremy Burns going to start on the pole here tonight. Once it flips over, then he'll move to first. There it is. All right, our mission of Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. Jeremy Burns, congratulations once again on being the Coastal Financial Pole Award winner, and thank you, Coastal Financial, for doing what you do for Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. Now let's get to the grid. Starting on the pole, Jeremy Burns in the 9, only driver in the 1 minute 20-second bracket. Carter Lynn's going to be to his outside, second spot for the 66. Third position for now belongs to Trevor Keith in the 50. Needs a good run in points tonight. Kyle Diaz going to start in the 4th position. Fifth spot, Tyler Harrison in the 45. Jackson McGeorge will roll off in 6th. 7th spot belongs to Justice Murphy. Completing the 4th row is Travis Gilbert in the 22. Your top 10 looks like Rob Rader in the 53, Alex Forget in the 19.
Getting back in the row 6 here, Matt Robinson in the 1, Caleb Gilbert in the 54 rolls off to his outside. Row 7, it'll be the 00 of Christian Bresnock and the 27 of Kevin Orlando Jr. Row 8, the 48 of Parker Johnston and the 18 of Jacob Sirkovich. Row 9, it'll be Michael Bennett, last week's winner, and Nick Alves to his outside. And rounding out the top 20, it's the 84 of Devin Hudgens and the 39 of Grant Turner.
21st tonight will be Grant Thorpe, playoff driver, and the Daniel Holloway, the Candyman, to his outside in 22nd. 23rd position, Brandon Richardson in the 8. Dylan Picklesheimer will start 24th, first driver to not get a valid time on the racetrack. And the last car on the grid will be Chris Nail in the 88. 25 cars make up the field here tonight. And there they are, Jeremy Burns leading the field behind the iRacing safety car, as you would call it on a road course, I suppose. This is one track I wish we had a track map for.
Yeah, really. This would be a fun one to have at 4. Especially just because I have a feeling this field is going to get really spread out in a hurry once we get past the stage break. It's a long potential green flag run in store between that stage break and the end of this one.
Considering that there are no full course cautions other than that stage at lap number 12, unless something were to go horribly awry, which I don't expect it to, because this league has been exceptionally green flag racing filled all year long. Don't expect it to change tonight.
Morgan, this, to your point you made a little while ago, indeed 5 for 5 on the poles here for Jeremy Burns at the road courses this season. It's also his 10th pole of the season, just total, which is phenomenal through now the 30th race of the year. 1 in every 3, he's stuck it up on the first spot.
That is impressive to say the least as we watch the drivers all go 2 by 2 through the chicane. Only time to be able to do that all day, I am sure, is that is not a particularly forgiving corner. 2 drivers have EOLs. You see them on your screen right there, the 22 and the 39. For issues with last week's Talladega race, they will start shotgun on the field, making their playoff hopes even more difficult to achieve. Watch them drive through the field here tonight, trying to do the back-to-front challenge. Into the final chicane. Field lined up behind Burns and Linz. We are green at the Roval. Already cars sliding. Parker Johnston has gone around in turn number 1. Vader passed.
Not the day he wanted to start the last chance and move on to the round of 8 with. Tough opening corner.
Well, the good news is he still has a stage here in 12 more laps to get it back. Burns going to lead him onto the oval section. Linz right on the back bumper. Chris Nail, the battle from Grant Turner. Turner into the outside wall just a little bit.
It's always really tough to gauge that exit back onto the banking of the NASCAR oval there. You know, you want to get back on the throttle. Well, Robinson into Orlando Jr.
That is playoff hopes as well for the 27. So 2 playoff drivers on the opening lap having major contact with something, and Burns looks like he will lead lap number 1. Can he go wire to wire for would almost be the second V-Speed broadcast this week that a driver's gone wire to wire, just what happened in VSRL earlier in the week.
Tell you what though, Carter Linz not letting him get away. That 66 was glued to him on the opening lap. We jump a little deeper. Oh, there he is. There's the 66 of Carter Linz. Someone very much fighting for their playoff livelihood tonight. They came into this one about 8 points above the cut line. But you know he would love to spoil the party here for that 9 car in the road courses this year. Linz has had some decent speed at the road courses this year, but seems to be putting it together at the right time when it matters most.
Yeah, who can forget that brilliant Coda performance? Which every time I put the camera on him, that car was facing in the wrong direction. But nothing but respect to the driver of the 66 here tonight. Hopefully he's able to put on a good effort here and maybe just challenge Jeremy Burns for a win. He'd be the first driver this year to do so, as I think Burns has won by a margin of, I think it's got to be well over a minute if you add up all of his margins of victory together on the road courses this year. I think the closest one was Watkins Glen, under 10 seconds.
Yeah, that was the one where Travis Gilbert was giving him a pretty good run for a good part of that race, and it was a bit of a surprise. I was excited to see what the 22 could bring today to the Roval, but that end of line has really marred him a little deeper in the field. He's got some work to do if he's going to try and get up there and fight for another podium spot here on the road courses, but making decent time up to 16th so far from the tail end of the field after 2 laps.
There is the Vet2 track 22. Running in the 16th spot, as you mentioned. technically down 8 spots, but really he has gained 9 spots from where he started this race, which was last on the grid. Everyone pretty spread out, except for these two. The Candyman and Christian Bresnock using all the racetrack and the painted section.
You know, if they're going to give it to you, you may as well use it. 21,
Parker Johnston.
Not a great exit there. Now the 48 getting on in the round.
Yeah, Parker
Tough couple
Johnston.
corners there for the 21.
Parker Johnston said, I'm taking this spot. You ain't giving it to me, but I'm taking it. And there we go. And Matt Robinson making a pass the traditional way. The bottom of turns 1 and 2 here. Oval 1 and 2 at the Roval. Well over the turtle. See these cars bounce. The suspension. Oh, we get spun again.
Oh!
A second time for the 1.
On the backstretch chicane once again. That time, though, he got a massive piece of the curbing getting through the first part of the chicane. Lost a ton of speed, and there was nowhere for the 27 to go behind him. So now that is twice that the 27 and the 1 have tangled there on the backstretch chicane.
Candyman's
that
around
time,
as
though,
well.
the 27 getting the better end of it.
The 21 has spun as well here on the front stretch chicane. He is back now to 22nd position, where he started the race. Back up front, Jeremy Burns continues to lead. Is the driver? I think we could probably start doing our through the fields as we're a third of the way through the stage. Burns, your leader, led the first 3 laps, about a second in front of Carter Glynns. Behind Jeremy Burns is Carter Glynns, there in the 2nd spot, right where he started. Trevor Keith with a new camera angle this week. Look at that. Look at that. 3rd spot for the 15. 4th belongs to Kyle Diaz. So far the top 5 not changing hands, including Tyler Harrison doing his thing. Jackson McGeorge, where he started in 6th. 7th is Justice Murphy, where he started. If you're not getting the picture by now, folks, it's hard to pass out here. The top 8 spots have not changed hands. We missed Rob Rader somehow. Those two are the only 2 swap positions inside the top 10, which is crazy. Then Caleb Gilbert up to 10th from 12th. That is a look at your top 10 right now as they run.
I have some bigger movers deeper in the field, though. You know, folks kind of sorting themselves out from 15th on back.
How about Nick Alves?
Guys like, yeah, Nick Alves, certainly
7.
one of them. He's up to 11th here.
Yeah, 7 spots gained for him. Plus 6 for Grant Thorpe, playoff driver, needing a good run tonight. As well as Chris Nail from the back of the field up to the 17th spot as he gets a little piece of that concrete wall there. I think that's the Kevin
Just a
Harvick wall,
kiss.
if I'm not mistaken.
I certainly believe it is.
Yes. I don't know what corner that is. Couldn't tell you. This place confuses me. But that's all right.
I believe that is the current or at least in this rendition, that's turn 7.
Yeah, it's even more confusing. This is not the current version they ran this past Sunday. This is the last version they ran last year. Not the first version, of course. Let's not get
That is
confused.
true, yeah. This is
version 2 of
the
3.
2021, the 23 version, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think
This place has undergone a lot of changes in a very short period of time.
I think 2018
since it started in 2018.
to 2022. I think the first one was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really remember. It's been crazy here at the Roval. But yeah, as you mentioned, a lot of facelifts for this racetrack. In only a handful of years it's been around. Very difficult to know what to expect trip after trip here to Charlotte, North Carolina.
On board here with the 12 of Justice Murphy. One of those drivers who came into today just above the cut line, was 1 point to the good at the start of this race. Currently running in P7. Looks like he's in position, if he's able to hold on to the spot, to tack on a few stage points as well, which will go a long way when this thing's all said and done. Because points are going to be hard to come by today. But right now, the 12 having a decent run in 7th, exactly where he started, but within striking distance, potentially, of reeling in the 98 with a good corner or 2.
Absolutely, and it's so... Oh, Carter Lynn's having a little off-track excursion right there. It's just going to ride on board. I didn't realize we have the driver cam for the 66. Oh, he's going to spin.
Whoa.
Goodness gracious. See if he's able to get it righted here as we go through the infield section. Rear tires are hot on the 66. Looks like he's got it back under control. Losing about 2 seconds to Burns through that. Falling into the clutches of Trevor Keith. Pass a little farther back here. 18 under fire. Devin Hudgens, driver who we definitely have on the cams here today. Running in VR, and I could not imagine VR at this place. Goodness.
If you have one of those sim rigs that also physically simulates the motion, you're gonna hit one of those curbs and end up in the ceiling.
Yes, throw you into the sky. I can confirm the turtles here are aggressive, more so than any other racetrack on the surface.
Just part of what makes the Roval such a unique place.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Absolutely. So we got a battle in front of them. We got some cars. I think that's the 22 who is really moving through this field right now. Let's go have a look and see. Where is driver 22? Up to 11th already. Might get some stage points after starting in 25th today. Although Bennett right on the inside into the chicane. Didn't get left much room. Oh, he's going to go around. Got some help.
Al's got him.
That has got to be frustrating. Driver running in the top 10. Going to find himself no longer in the top 10 as he falls down now to the 21st position. There is Michael Bennett.
That's got to be incredibly frustrating.
You can tell he's not too happy as there goes Robinson just about crashing off of the side of the 14, but he's calm. I'm sure Michael Bennett will be able to recover just fine as we close in on the stage, only about 5 laps away. Battle here.
Whoa.
Zerkovich, Nail, Hudgens again. Not too far behind Nick Alves.
Fun little battle here for the 14th position on track.
Yes.
Chris Nail is having a really good start.
Oh
no!
What is going on?
That was not gonna work.
Oh my goodness. He tried to shoot the gap and it did not work. The hole closed immediately. Devin Hudgens. What on earth? We got to go back and watch that one.
Did the brakes lock up?
I
Or
think
what?
they had to have locked up.
I mean, I don't even know if there was room to make that 3 wide in the first place. Oh, yeah, no, those guys were hitting their braking zone, and the 84 just kept driving it in and got a piece of both of them.
I think he just missed the spot. Not by much, but I think that's all it takes sometimes is a car length, and all of a sudden there's 3 cars wrecking through that chicane. Grant Turner has also gained a number of positions, and this is a great time for the foot cam. So you can watch him work through the racetrack here. Grant the toes Turner.
And on the road courses where you get a lot of value out of this, you seeing what they're doing on track here. And this is Turner, who's up about 10 spots from where he started, because he was the other car with Travis Gilbert that had that end-of-line penalty to start the race. Turner, you know, trying to get all the stage points he can get, might be a little too far back to get any here, but is doing a really good job to set himself up. And, you know, if we know anything about the 39, is that he will probably go off strategy from the field, which could flip some track position his way.
Definitely likely, but you can see the pedal movement working through the gears. Really interesting how he's able to position the car in such a way that you can flip the throttle and not spin the tires, lock them up, wheel hop, whatever have you. He's doing a great job. So far, again, up about 10 spots from the start of the race. Big dive here on the 18. Able to get the
try
spot.
and make it happen there. Oh,
not quite.
nearly made it happen on I believe that is turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, oh boy, that's what everyone was thinking there. Is oh boy, that could have been a disaster. But They're able to keep it on the racetrack, and Turner closes in again.
Almost was a repeat of the 84 and the 88 there, going through that infield section.
Right about that. 18's able to gap him a little bit out of the Roval exit. Couple close battles throughout the field. Bennett going forward. Bresnock going backwards. Matt Robinson right in front of the 14 as he makes his comeback to hurry up 2 spots already from when he had that spin. And Matt Robinson has had by far the most eventful opening 11 laps. As he has spun, I think, 3 times and still runs 19.
Yeah, he's had a busy opening 12 laps. I don't know if he'll be able to keep up that level of excitement for good or for worse.
Don't think he
for
wants
the
to.
next 40 after this.
I don't think he wants that kind of excitement. To get around Chris Nail, we'll lose a spot there. But back
the
up
88
front.
was like shot out of a cannon for a while there.
Was.
Until that incident with Hudgens, and has really lost a ton of steam since then.
Could have a bent toe link. Remember, he did get spun all the way around, so some sort of damage on that car is possible. No driver who does not have a damaged car right now. Jeremy Burns, your leader, out by 3.8 on the field. Has led every lap. Coming to, I believe, the white flag of the stage, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the, is it the end of this lap? Or is it once? I think it's the end of this lap. When we get the stage, I guess we'll find out here shortly.
Every league does it differently, and I can never keep them sorted.
Well, we'll see what happens when 10th place Caleb Gilbert crosses the start-finish line, if the caution flag waves or not. I don't see a caution yet. I'm thinking we go one more lap.
Alrighty.
All right.
Very
well,
fun.
Jeremy Burns going to try and wrap up another lap here, as Devin Hudgens has left the session. The 84 machine will finish in the 25th spot after, I believe, it had that could have also been an equipment failure. Now that I think about it,
That's also possible.
you know,
yeah.
the way they just didn't slow down for the chicane could be an equipment failure. But regardless, Devin Hudgens going to retire early. Will finish many laps down in this race. Every driver on the racetrack is on the lead lap. Dylan Picklesheimer bringing up the rear of the field. About a minute behind your current leader, Jeremy Burns. Battle is on right now for second, about half a second separating those 2 drivers. But through the final chicane, Burns is going to win the stage, followed by Linz and Keith, 2 playoff drivers.
That's big points for the 15. He was on the outside looking in, coming in tonight.
66 as well.
Same with
That is gonna
Harrison.
help. That's your top 9. There is the green car running in the 10th spot. That should clinch. There it is. He's excited to play that yellow flag. Goodness gracious.
I mean, who wouldn't be after a thrilling opening 12 laps here at the Roval?
Yeah, let's rack him up and do it one more time. Jerry Burns is going to be your stage winner. Let's bring him up here. We have a little bit of an interview we need to do with the driver of the 9. Maybe once they catch up to the pace car. Excellent opening stage for Jeremy Burns. Why don't you go grab the driver of the 9? I think he knows his way around this
Absolutely.
racetrack by now. Should be able to pace and talk to us
Yeah.
at the same time.
I'll pull him in real quick here.
Hey, Jeremy, it's Morgan and Alex up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, engine number 9 was the first one to cross the stage finish line. Well done, winning the pole, leading the opening 12 laps and winning the stage. But did you know, Mr. Jeremy Burns, that an anonymous source has donated $500 to you and $500 to a charity of your choice? Were you aware of that? Mr. Burns.
I did not know that.
Well, how does it feel to know that you're going to be $500 richer, and a charity of your choice will also be $500 richer?
Really, at the end of the day, I think that we can support a really good charity with that. I'm not even worried about the money personally. I'm so thankful to whoever donated that, because that's amazing. Thank you so much. It's going to go a long way, especially for a charity. But yeah, man, just super happy for that. Been dialed this entire race, so to get that news, like, oh my gosh, that's pretty crazy. But thank you so much to whoever donated that. So yeah, we're looking forward to completing this race. We got 40 more laps. So we're going to try to get that thing underway.
Yeah, you're right. 40 more laps here at the Roval. Obviously, car's been dialed in so far. Driver's been dialed in so far. What's it going to take to close it out here the rest of the way?
Main thing is going to be the restart here, making sure to break away. We're going to have to manage the gap, and we're going to have to save a little bit of fuel here to make it a one-stop. But other than that, hopefully we can coast the number 9 Chapman Environmental Ford Mustang to victory lane, and hopefully we'll be talking to y'all here at the end of the race.
All right, well, before we let you go, anyone you want to shout out, you don't have to do your whole list. I'm sure we'll get that at the end of the show here. Anyone you want to shout out off the top of your head before you hit the pit stop?
Yeah, shout out to everybody watching. My mom, dad, my grandma, Miss Betsy, my girlfriend Josie, Chapman Environmental for being on the hood, Blue Ridge Volunteer Fire Department for sponsoring the race tonight, and you guys up here at V-Speed, of course, and everybody else that's in the Mountain Man fan club. Huge shout out to all of them, and the anonymous donor there for that donation, because that's amazing.
All right, well, happy early birthday to Jeremy Burns, the Mountain Man, leading so far at the Roval. Thanks for your time, Jeremy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, get him back in the Element X chat. There he goes. We can watch them hit the pit lane for the first time tonight. Pretty cool to have an anonymous donation to a charity of your choice.
It's unbelievable.
That's incredible stuff. So whoever you are, thank you very much. For making the world a little bit better place. Good on you.
Incredible. So yeah, even though it was directed to Burns and the charity of his choice, I mean I think I speak for both of us, Morgan. When big thanks even from the V-Speed folks. I mean, just being able to witness that is a really cool thing.
Yeah, you know what's an interesting idea here is maybe a back to front challenge with a charity incentive attached to it. Might be an interesting situation to have here on V-Speed. Well, maybe talk about that a little bit later, and see if we can figure that out for later in the season. But everyone getting their fuel, getting their tires, and the tightest pit exit in all of the world. Here we go. Can't even see the pit exit. It's everyone getting off pit road just fine. You can see, look at this turn the 8 has to make. Look at that. Just full 90 degrees.
Just immediately.
Yeah, don't go out the oval way, because there's a wall there now, and that'll get you.
Yeah, every time I practice on this track, I always make that mistake at least once whenever I reset the car.
Yeah, as what I would call an oval connoisseur, this Roval is not particularly kind to me. I've run, I think, 2 races here. I DNF'd one of them, and I somehow scraped together a top 3 in the other. But the leaders were about 45 seconds ahead. It was more of a matter of survival than anything else, and a lot of drivers feeling that today. No more than Matt Robinson, who has had his fair share of issues so far today, but the car is still together, intact, and he is in the 19th position at the moment.
Now, don't mind me, Morgan. I'm doing a little bit of bean counting over here after the stage points are calculated to get a gauge on how this is going to affect that playoff cut line. The big things to note, Tyler Harrison there in 11th got 5 points. To close up a lot more to that gap. Justice Murphy got a few to get clear of that gap, as did Rader and Linz. But Grant Turner, due to the end of the line, did not get any stage points there. So it's going to get real close with him, Orlando Jr., and maybe a few other folks. We'll have to calculate that in just a moment. Whenever I have that information, I'll be sure to give it to you.
And Travis Gilbert also not getting any stage points. He finished in 11th in the stage, meaning he missed out by exactly 1 position. Also on the line here are the team points. And if you look, it's a dead tie across the board, both brackets. I bet you didn't see that one coming after 2 races. Element X and Racing for Freedom, they are in a lockstep with 16 points each. OMT and BDE Motorsports as well in lockstep with 13 points. Most points combined for the top 3 drivers is going to get you points to move on to the next round. We got a bunch of drivers hitting the pit lane behind this group. How about Kevin Orlando Jr. leading them down? Trying to get a little bit of extra fuel, maybe some tire advantage, something different. Only going to lose a couple spots doing this, as he came in 13th. Looks like he will come out here in about 15th position. We're on the final pace lap. Remember, we can potentially one-stop this. Bring up the race analysis on the screen again. Thanks to Adam Baker for building race analysis into the ticker like this. Very convenient up here in the V-Speed booth. We can go about 18 to 20 on fuel with the half tank that is available to these drivers. So you could probably one-stop it from here. I know some drivers are going to try, including the 27 and all the drivers behind him. Well, Alex, doubled back up.
And that we are.
And have a little under 40 laps to decide this race. What do you predict is going to be in store for us?
Well, I think up at the front of the field, I think it's going to be Jeremy Burns being able to dictate things from the front, unless someone like a Carter Lins or Trevor Keith is able to put together a really, really good long-run car. That was obviously not a particularly long stint that we had. If we get a really extended run here, that full fuel window, might be able to see something come into play here, but it's going to be all about execution up front. A little deeper in the field, though, I think we're going to see a lot of action as laps start to tick away, and those who might not be on the up and up on this playoff cut line might be a little more desperate to make moves.
Absolutely agree with you there. And if you enjoy what you're seeing here on V-Speed, make sure to like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss a moment of the racing action. You found us, you might as well stick around a while longer. It's been a fun one so far, and we're about to get wild here at the Roval for the back half of this race. Burns has led them all so far. Can he lead the rest of them?
That will be the question. We know Carter Lins was able to hang with him for a lap or two on the opening green flag. Is he able to get a little bit of a better jump this time? Potentially try and clear the 9. Meanwhile, those cars just behind him. Does the 26 or the 45 make a really aggressive move in the turn 1?
Flagman with the green flag in his hand for the second and final restart of the day. Burns and Lins on the pedal. We are green here again at the Roval. Not quite able to hang on the back bumper that time around as they dive down into turn. I think this is turn 4. Eventually, there we go. Now there's the cars. Little contact and a few. Oh, Resnock's off the racetrack. Everyone else able to get through there relatively cleanly. Great side-by-side passing area right there. About the only one on this racetrack. Battles galore. Thorpe losing a couple. Travis Gilbert into the top 10 for the first time today with Rob Rader to the inside. Oh, there goes the 22.
Oh! Locks it down. He's going to get moving again, but he's got some work to do to get that track position back. He lost a ton of ground.
Everything he gained at the start of the race, it's gone. Back to 21st position for the 22. Now he's going to have to put the hard hat on and get to work. This is difficult for him. He's going to go by the 21 right here. He's going to try anyway. Crossover, not quite enough for Travis Gilbert. We'll keep an eye on that driver for the rest of the race. The other one to start at the back of the field, Grant Turner with the foot cam. Finds himself currently in the 16th spot, still looking for points. Going to need a better run than this if he's going to make the playoffs. He is in a precarious situation right now. Chris Nail with an issue on pit road. Must have spun around in the 88.
Speaking of the 39 of Grant Turner and that precarious point situation you mentioned, I have that information now available. I did a little bit of math here after the stage to see how all this shook out. And the big winner through all of that, particularly, obviously, Carter Lynch, Trevor Keith, but specifically the 15 of Trevor Keith went into this 1 point behind the cut line coming into tonight.
Bresnock.
The 8 stage points puts him now +7 to the cut line. He's up to 7th in those playoff points. Grant Turner -4 as he sits behind Justice Murphy. Tyler Harrison got those 5 stage points, but he still sits -11, as does Kevin Orlando Jr. and Parker Johnston -20 to that cut line right now. Justice Murphy, the last one in as they run, currently sitting +4 over Grant Turner.
How about that? We just about had a pass for second. Not quite, though. Diaz got to the back bumper, got alongside, could not make the move as Trevor Keith running in the 5th position. He mentioned it at Watkins Glen a few weeks ago. He said that the talent and the skill in this field has gotten exponentially better since the beginning of the season. Remember, at Coda, it was him and the 9 who were out by, it seemed like, minutes ahead of the field. And now he's running in 5th. Harrison and Diaz and Lynn's in front of him. A lot of drivers tired of getting embarrassed by the 9 and want to run better on road courses, and it shows. This entire top 10 after a few laps is still only within 10 seconds of your leader, which that used to be the margin first to second earlier in the season.
Yeah, the field has gotten, each road course that we've been to this year, the field has gotten closer and closer together, which is a great thing. You see the rest of the field up in their game each and every time we start going left and right, and it's made for some really compelling races the past couple times out. That Watkins Glen race was thoroughly entertaining, and we're on board for another really good one here at the Roval already. A lot of really good moments of passing out on track, a lot of good moves, a couple of incidents, but you'll have that with any road course. So it's been a fun one so far.
Absolutely right. As we work into lap number 20, a lot of drivers working really hard. I just saw the 19 of Alex Forget sawing the heck out of the steering wheel. Let's ride on board with him and see what he's dealing with here in the 19. I feel like rear traction is not something that the 19 has a lot of right now. Highly focused driver. You have to be here at the Roval. This might be the most mentally demanding racetrack that we go to all season long.
On board here with the 19 of Forget. You can see he is absolutely dialed in right now, trying to get around the back bumper of Grant Turner, who's stacked up there with Nick Alves. A nice little battle for 13th. You see just how close you have to cut the margins here to those concrete walls in the infield. Definitely a little bit unnerving if you haven't run this track a lot, but once you get settled in, you can breeze right on by him, and then the danger spots really become whenever you have another car involved. As here goes Gilbert from a long way back.
And he
little
missed
bit
it.
of a lockup.
All 4 tires off the ground for the 22. That is less than ideal for this race car. That was a moment for all 3 of those drivers as Bennett's going to block through oval 3 and 4 into the front stretch chicane. No such lunge this time by.
I think about it though, into turn 1, he pulled right up to the back bumper of Michael Bennett. Thought about getting in there, nothing going through there though.
We had a almost vortex of danger moment. You don't see that on the ovals, but you just about saw it there in turn number 1. 22's going to slide back. Still trying to fight back. He is currently 17th. Might pass the most cars tonight, although I'm sure that's not the stat he is looking for. He just wants to lead the most laps, or any laps, or win the race is the goal for the 22. Move on to the playoffs, because he's probably not in the greatest situations right now either.
Yeah, he is currently +9 to Grant Turner. Turner 3 spots ahead of him, so he would stay in front of the 39 as they run. The part where I would be a little bit more concerned if I was the 22 would be the 48 currently running in 10th, and then the 45 running in 5th. Both of those guys below the cut line putting together really solid days right now. And if that 48 were to pick up a couple more spots as well, he could be a real threat to sneak in the midnight hour.
And wouldn't be the first time he's done that this year. Remember, he got into the playoffs with a second to last race win at Daytona, the thriller that happened during the night race. Would not surprise me in the least if Captain Clutch, Parker Johnston, could end up with another playoff shocker and advance to the round of 8. And yes, I did just call him Captain Clutch.
Now we'll see if he lives up to the moniker.
We'll see. Tyler Harrison having a great race as well. One of the drivers put a lot of time in on the road courses. He is the highest rated driver in terms of I rating in this field. Has not had a season to go with it, turning around at the right time. He made the playoffs and has progressed through each round rather easily. That will be his toughest test as he finds himself below the cut line, but currently in the 5th position, right where he started here at the Roval. And the good news, he can still see Jeremy Burns, so something is going right for the 45.
And honestly, it's been a great run so far for Tyler Harrison. You know, he came into today 16 points back, and you know, got the 6 stage points for finishing 5th. Currently running in the top 5 still. He's going out there and doing everything he needs to do to give himself a fighting chance at advancing. Although right now he's got a mirror full of Jackson McGeorge, who's had a really good run the past lap or two, and he's really closed down that gap.
And the 98 has been on a bit of a heater recently. Caleb Gilbert having a spin. That is playoff issues for the 54. He's going to lose a lot of spots here. Trevor Keith with the same by chance? Yes, Trevor Keith is around as well in the same lap. 2 different playoff drivers going around. Keith down to 10th. Gilbert down to 20th. Game-changing moment.
Very game-changing moment for both of them. Caleb Gilbert, while he's fallen further down, had a lot more points to give to that cut line. Trevor Keith, though, falling down to 10th, that is going to make things a little dicier. He was only +7, so, you know, if things continue to hold, if he's behind Johnston and Harrison, who's now bumped up to 4th, you better keep an eye on where that 22 settles out as well. There is so much happening on track right now when it comes to points implications. Anytime a playoff driver plummets through the field like that, let alone 2 in the same lap.
I'm glad you're keeping track of it, not me. Grant Turner can lose a spot here to the 19, a former playoff driver. He goes all the way over the curves, all 3 of them hitting the turtles, testing out the independent rear suspension on this next-gen car, and it does not feel too good when you hit the bumps that hard. It's bouncy into the final chicane. Somebody just missed the chicane altogether. That'd be Nick Alves. It is, in fact, the driver of the 24. Probably have to serve a penalty for that.
Or at least find a way to give the time back.
For sure. You can tell he's not terribly pleased with that move, but sometimes these things happen. Running in 12th, probably have to give up. This would be 12th spot. To the 14. Michael Bennett, who has moved through the field after a early spin. Remember, the 14 got spun around, I believe, on lap number 2. And the 22 is back up to 13th spot. There is Michael Bennett. A little calmer now than he was about 20 laps ago. Gonna go for the pass here.
Yeah, that was... drive it in real deep into the chicane. Get that thing to make the turn.
Got it.
No lockups there. Nice pass from Michael Bennett, moving up the P12.
Yeah, good work for the 14. Driver we have not rode on board with yet, who's had a phenomenal day so far. How about Carter Linz? Running in 2nd. On the roof cam. See a lot of Jeff Gordon in the background. That was a driver who probably would have smoked the field at a racetrack like this. I believe still is the all-time NASCAR leader in road course wins. Chase Elliott might have taken that from him. I don't quite recall.
Nah, I think he got close, but I don't think he got there, especially because he really cooled off once they switched over to the next gen. So
And Kyle
I
Larson
think he's
now.
up there with him and Stewart, yeah, and Larson. Couple of road course kings, but I do believe Gordon still has the all-time record.
Carter Lynn's driving this thing right now, second spot. I believe Christian Bresnock has had an issue on the racetrack. How about the 0-0? He is on pit road. This battle's heating up. 4th through 7th, apologies. Grant Thorpe being the last driver in that line. All right together. Harrison, George, Rader, and Thorpe nose to tail, but 3/10 separating each driver. One mistake plummets you a lot of spots, and 3 playoff drivers out of the 4 in that group. How are your road course skills, Alex? Are you a road course ringer, as they say?
I'm more of getting rung by the road courses most times. I usually do quite poorly on them. I just really struggle with consistently hitting the braking zone, so I was never much of the road course aficionado. I would typically run road course races in like small sessions with like teammates in different events, and there was a reason I was always the last one to get subbed in anytime we did an endurance event.
Yes, road courses are difficult, and braking might be the most important part of the road courses. Braking and throttle management in that order, I would say. Getting into the corner is important, so is getting out of it. Trevor Keith knows that. He's run very well in the road courses this year. I believe average finish somewhere in the 2s or 3s, if I had to guess, this season. Currently in the 9th position after a half slide. I'm sure with strategy, he will make his way back up through the field, as he is currently the fastest driver on the racetrack, running 22 flats. Burns ran a 22.4 last time by. What is it going to be this time? What do you know? 22 flat. 15 is rolling.
Trevor Keith has found something in the prime time too. After that spin a few laps ago, he fell from 3rd or 5th or so down to 10th. Trying to work his way back. He's back up the 9th, and he sees 8th up in front of him there. That was Justice Murphy, but jumping a little further back, this is on board with Travis Gilbert in this battle still. 11th, 12th, and 13th. Kevin Orlando, Michael Bennett, Travis Gilbert, 2 of those guys. Playoff drivers looking for every point they can get their hands on.
And remember, Orlando needs playoff points as well. Right,
he needs it big time.
He needs them big time.
He's currently sitting 11th after the stage.
So he cannot let these 2 drivers by, because he might not get an opportunity for 2 more points in the rest of this race. Has to drive defensively, has to drive aggressively defensively to be able to keep them behind him, as Bennett's all over the back bumper, and Gilbert continues to peak. Oh, there goes the 14. Deep dive to the inside. It looks like he's going to make the corner. Crossover opportunity not available. Great lap.
Oh, Gilbert going to go through too.
It checked up the 27 on the exit, and that is going to be a 2-for-1 special. Not in favor of Kevin Orlando Jr. And
Great move, though, from the 22 to capitalize on a situation happening in front of him.
And not too far in front of them, Parker Johnson, who, if you recall, spun on turn number 1. Finds himself in the 10th position. Great speed in this 48 machine. Haven't never said that before. Yes, I'm talking about Jimmy Johnson. Obviously said that before. 48 always fast. At every racetrack we go to, the joke didn't quite hit. Not the ring created Parker Johnson. Had a great race and a great season all year long. Other playoff drivers, obviously Burns is your leader. Yeah, Carter Lynn's right behind him. Tyler Harrison running in 4th. Then Rader and Thorpe and Murphy and Keith and Johnston, all nose to tail. 6th through 10th. Travis Gilbert, playoff driver. So is Kevin Orlando Jr., we just rode on board with. Grant Turner still in the playoffs. Caleb Gilbert, who's fallen back to 19th, is in the playoffs. I believe that is your field, if I'm not mistaken. Did I forget anybody?
No, I believe that's all of them,
I
unless
got
there's someone down there back behind Caleb Gilbert, although I don't believe there is as far as the playoff drivers are concerned.
Don't believe so. Rob Rader just lost a couple positions here. He's getting passed by the 12. And the 45 also having an issue, losing 2 spots.
Oh, yeah.
Some great
That
battles
is
here.
really going to be an issue for the 45.
Yes, it is. And all these drivers. Playoff implications as we close in. Oh, big slide for the 45. He's able to save it. Oh, hit the wall.
He is having a tough time out there right now. And here comes Justice Murphy. Both of those guys battling for that final transfer spot. This could be a huge pass for the 12.
This is a 2-point swing potentially. +1 for you, -1 for your competitor. Into the braking zone. 45 might have damage. He's going to miss the apex of the corner. Have to come to a complete stop, and he can watch the points as they drive away out the front mirror. How about the windshield? Goodness gracious.
He is, it's been a rough lap and a half there for the 45. Tyler Harrison was running as high as 4th. Now it's all fallen all the way back to the 9th position.
Coming to pit road. Harrison must have damage on that 45. Oh, this is a disaster for the playoff chances.
It's also tough because if the window that we have is to be believed of 18 to 20 laps, he would have to come down pit road again to make it to the end of this race.
That's right. We're about 24 away from the finish of this race. Oh, the 8's going to go for a big slide into the bus stop chicane. Oh, he hit that thing pretty hard.
Yeah, he did.
Richardson, yes. Somehow able to get it back righted very quickly. Oh, there goes somebody's. Oh, there's the back bumper. Somehow jumped ahead of him. That's unfortunate. And no more rear deck lid. Might get a black flag here from the officials for not having that key component. He's going to hit the pit lane. Tough break so far for your 22nd place driver, Brandon Richardson. Harrison still losing spots as he's on pit road still. It's been a long stop. 33 seconds must have mission critical damage. Battle for second. Parker Johnson on pit. Oh, he spun around. The 48 has gone around.
Oh.
He's going to lose 6, 7 positions here. 6 spots.
Not what he wanted to see.
Absolutely not. This is going to change the points in a big way as well. Got Alex burning through the calculator. It's on fire right now.
I don't know. I'm sure it's coming across on air a little bit too. I've been a little bit quieter in this second stage. As Morgan's been bringing you all the action, I've been over here pulling up the old spreadsheet machine and seeing what I can do to keep a loose eye on these points as they change and move around. But right now, the biggest thing to note is the big swing of Harrison having that issue and having to come down pit road, losing all that track position, now being a lap down as well. He was right on the cusp of potentially advancing, was battling there with Justice Murphy, but now having to come down pit road. That may or less kill his chances at advancing to the next round here. That car still doesn't look quite right.
He might be getting out of the way, but I don't know. We're going to have to see in the braking zone here. What does this car do? Does it wobble again like it did last time? A little bit. We'll see what kind of lap times he can put together here for the 45. But yeah, he is losing ground. He hit the wall again. Oh no. That might have done the left front toe link in as Diaz gets around Linz. Into the braking zone. Crossover, no. Give Kyle Diaz a second position over playoff driver Carter Linz, easily the highest running non-playoff driver in the field. Harrison spun out again. It's a disaster
back down
now.
pit road.
Disastrous lap for the 45. His chances of going to the round of 8 have just gone up in smoke. He's already 1 lap down. He will go another if the damage is too severe. Diaz went a little bit wide there. Linz went very tight to the inside wall. No one able to get any positions gained there. Harrison loses another spot. He has a 6-lap advantage on Christian Bresnock in the 00, who's still on pit road, so that is good news for Harrison. The lowest he can possibly fall is 23rd. But what does he need to advance to the round of 8? In terms of points here, Alex, what does he need to have happen for him?
Apologies. Which driver here?
Tyler Harrison.
Tyler Harrison. Harrison at this point is going to need a lot of things to go right. If he holds on to that position he's in right now, 22nd, he's still looking a very tough, about 20 points back at the cut line, because all the other guys around the cut line are running inside the top 10 right now. Guys like Justice Murphy, Trevor Keith, Travis Gilbert, and Rob Rader, and Caleb Gilbert, even though Caleb Gilbert is down in 18th, had that points cushion coming in today, and he is going to be trying to make the most of it here. So the battle from like 3rd through 8th is very intense for seeding purposes right now, but right now the closest on the outside trying to break their way in now that Harrison is down on pit road actually is going to be the 39 of Grant Turner, although he still finds himself about 11 points back running in that 14th spot.
How about pit stops underway? The 48 can be the first one to hit pit road. We are, I believe, right on the edge of the window. About 1 lap away from being for sure in the window. 48 says it's time. It's go time. Let's get it for Parker Johnston. Will anybody else in that lead group come down the pit lane?
I wonder if Burns is coming down this time by. Kyle Diaz has reeled him in a hurry here. It's only down to 1.5 seconds now.
Could be aggressive fuel saving on the 9. He will not hit pit road.
Might be.
Diaz,
but Diaz will.
On pit lane. Or for the money stop here tonight, couple other drivers. How about McGeorge and Keith? Justice Murphy's on pit road. This would be lap number 19. Drivers are trying to make happen here on the stage. Travis Gilbert on pit road. What does Nick Alves do? No pitting this time for the 24. Grant Turner's going to stay out one more lap as well. Could have saw that one coming. I kid. You know what I mean. Parker Johnston's out back on the racetrack. He is now 18th, first driver to hit the pit road. Oh, he missed the bus stop. Oh, no.
I don't even know if he missed it. It was more of like he just intentionally drove through it. The pace seems way down on the 48 right now.
Interesting. That was strange, definitely. He might have had just the corner cut penalty, had to slow down to give the time back. But yeah, interesting situation there for the 48. Grant Thorpe is up to 3rd with all the pit stops underway. I imagine Burns will hit pit road this time as well. Comes Burns out of the chicane. So far, so good for the number 9. Would he make that left-hand turn to pit road? No, another lap in the tank for Jeremy Burns. How about Carter Linz? No. Grant Thorpe says yes. I will hit pit road this time. What does Rob Rader do? He will pit as well. Maybe he can get that right front damage fixed. Probably not enough time for that, however. Will Michael Bennett hit the pit lane? Yes, it almost missed the pit lane. Orlando Jr.? No. Diaz has already pit, I believe. Yes, fuel only for the driver. That could be the race-winning move, as he has only been on pit road for 8 seconds. Everybody else around him more than that. Interesting stuff here.
Interesting to see how it works out for Diaz. That fuel-only call could be the difference. It depends on what the 9 wants to do whenever he makes his final stop of the day.
I should note, most drivers only doing fuel only. Some right side tires, a lot of fuel only. And also Burns is about 4 seconds off the pace. So that must be fuel saving. I can't think that's tires, or else everyone would want tires. Interesting stuff here late in the race. Carter Linz still in the 2nd spot. He's got Harrison in between him and the leader. Harrison cycles out to 4 laps down after getting the damage repaired. He will need a lot of things to happen if he is going to get into the round of 8. Burns not hitting pit road this time either. Aggressive fuel saving. Saw this at Michigan earlier in the year. That one did not work out. But he's been the king of the road courses. Carter Linz on pit lane now. What do the other playoff drivers do? There goes the 27. Here comes the 39. They will pit. Grant Thorpe has gotten by them. And Diaz, still the first driver who has pitted on this most recent stint. Burton's been out there for 21 laps. 1 lap longer than our estimate we were given. And guess who gave us that estimate? It was Jeremy Burns.
Well, I have a feeling it might be the 9.
It was the 9. He left a little something for us, although he is incredibly slow right now, about 4.5 seconds off the pace. Let's ride
Whenever
on
he
board.
does come down pit road, he's going to lose out time to Kyle Diaz. Even if he does fuel only, he's not going to get down and through pit road in just 18 seconds.
That is true. Yeah, we'll have to see what the strategy call here for the number 9 is, because this is interesting. The 48 has caught him. 48 was about 5 seconds behind not too long ago. Here comes Burns down pit road. He will be the last taker on pit road. Where does Diaz cycle out? Diaz right now in oval 3 and 4. See Burns, that blue car on pit road. Not even in the pit box yet. Just now entering the stall, and Diaz is going to fly by. This is a big time difference.
Yeah, obviously it'll be a fresher situation for the 9, less fuel to have to go in the car, run slightly faster lap times. But I mean, he's going to put himself in quite the hole here with only about 18 laps to go.
Already off pit road, he is now 7.5 and 3 positions behind Kyle Diaz. And he will not lead every lap today either. Not sure if that was important to engine 9. That's still not possible here today. Grant Thorpe runs in 7th in the 77. Car slip sliding around. Travis Gilbert up to 9th for, I believe, the 2nd time today. Maybe this time he won't have the slide in this corner here. Let's see. Looks good for now. Doing what he needs to do to advance to the round of 8. What a crazy race points-wise for all these drivers.
Oh my goodness, it's been shuffling all over the place, and just when you think you got a handle on it, someone spins, loses a bunch of spots, and it completely shuffles the deck once again. It has been a mathematical nightmare trying to keep up with everything moving around here in real time. I understand why they have the computers do that and not the people these days.
And Carter Linz is down to 8th. Remember, he was 2nd. Grant Thorpe down pit road for the 2nd time today.
Oh.
What happened to the 77? Only pit 2 laps ago. Is this potentially a speeding penalty? Maybe couldn't make it on fuel. What is going on for driver 77? Keep you apprised of that situation. He did leave. No, he's still in the pit box. I'm seeing a 10-second stop. Could be a damage repair. Oh boy, this is devastating for a driver not locked in. Came a couple inches away from winning last week at Talladega. Could those couple inches be the difference between him making the round of 8 and not next week at Las Vegas? He's off pit road now.
He lost a ton of time.
30 seconds. Must have been some sort of damage. But now he's 18th. What does that spell for driver 77?
Well, I tell you what, it all of a sudden makes things a little more interesting as things situate out in the points. Grant Thorpe, who before the pit cycle was looking fine and dandy in about 4th in that playoff standings, dropped all the way down to 8th, and the gap between him and Grant Turner for that final spot now looks to only be about 7 points.
Fascinating stuff as we ride on board with Jeremy Burns as he's going to try and pick his way from 4.2 back to go get Trevor Keith and go get Kyle Diaz and see if he can go 5 for 5 on the road courses this season. Let's ride on board with the driver and just see what is he doing here and see how smooth he is. Back onto the oval section here. It's power down efficiently. Tense times in the camp of Jeremy Burns.
Yeah, obviously we know he's got speed, and you know he's making it happen out there, getting around a couple of cars. But you know he had the lead all day. Now he's gonna have to work through traffic if he's gonna try and get out there and get the checkered flag. But this could be a huge opportunity for either of Kyle Diaz or Trevor Keith. Diaz, I believe, looking for win number 1 on the year. Could be a huge victory for him if things hold the way they are. And, you know, Trevor Keith still looking for that automatic advancement to the round of 8. Looks like he might be all right on points if things hold, but you know he would love to get the statement victory here at the Roval.
Yeah, you can see him up on the wheel, smiling, having a good time. I'm sure he's nervous seeing that 9 ever so slightly close in on him. Last time by, fastest car on the racetrack was Trevor Keith. By quite a bit, actually. He was about 8 tenths faster than your leader and Jeremy Burns. Going to close into under a second here. Look at him wheel that 15 machine.
About 15 laps to go here from the Charlotte Roval. And we're about to have ourselves some action for the lead as Trevor Keith is closing in on the back bumper of Kyle Diaz. Back into NASCAR Oval 3 and 4 they go. The gap only a couple of car lengths as they're about to make their way through that front stretch chicane. How ambitious will Trevor Keith be getting around the 26 if he can get there, knowing that 9 is bearing down on them both?
A lot of gain on the entry of that corner. Lose a little bit on the exit, but net positive there for the 15. Into turn number 1. Gap still closing ever so slightly. Still closing under 6 tenths, half a second, 3 tenths. Look at the entry speed for the 15. He's there all over the back bumper of Kyle Diaz.
If I'm the 26, I'm going to have to keep an eye in the rearview mirror here when they get to this backstretch chicane. We know the 15's been happy to drive it a lot deeper than the 26 has. How ambitious is he going to be getting into that chicane, knowing that this is a prime opportunity to try and outbrake the car in front of you?
He is going to be there. The gap is still closing. It's only 3 tenths. The draft will come into effect starting right now. What does the 15 do? He's quite a ways back. I get right to the back bumper. Crossover potentially. Efficient use of throttle application, but don't look now. Jeremy Burns only 2 seconds behind.
Yeah, once he got around the lap car of Daniel Holloway, the 9 has been a man on a mission. He's cut off about 7-8 tenths a lap the past couple laps. And before long, this could be a 3-car battle for the lead if Keith and Diaz aren't careful.
That last time by, Burns ran a 21.3. The leaders both ran 22.4, so with 1.1 seconds per lap for Jeremy Burns. Over that last one, Justice Murphy and the 53 of Rob Rader, as well as 21 of Holloway, all trying to occupy the same space into turn number 1. 5th spot up for grabs here. As nothing has changed up front. Playoff seeding potentially up for grabs here. But look at that nose to tail for the leaders, and Burns has closed in. It's not over yet, Jeremy Burns fans. It's just getting started.
Yeah, Trevor Keith, I think if he's going to try and make this move on Diaz, he's got to make it this lap. If he's going to try and get something established up front before the 9 gets there. Nothing through the chicane that time by, though. And that will bring Jeremy Burns within a second of the back bumper of Trevor Keith.
Incredible
3
drive.
cars within a second and a half here with just over 10 laps to go.
If you would have told me that with 12 laps to go in the race at the Roval, Burns would be 3rd and the top 3 would be separated by less than 2 seconds, I would have said, nah, not happening. No chance. But Again, goes to show how phenomenal this field has gotten at the road course racing. Since Coda earlier in the year, as a 22 is driven through about 19 cars, Justice Murphy, Carter Lynn's battling here for 8th and 9th. But all these drivers in the top 10, really the entire field, did a great job of keeping it on the racetrack and keeping it fast. Everybody has shown up and done a great job here tonight. Oh, the 77 still having issues.
He just got lapped.
You see that big damage on the left front. He must have caught one of the walls, potentially where we were just at there, entering the corner for turn 1 and 2. But yeah, the left front is bent. He is well off the pace, about 3 seconds slower than your leaders.
The important thing for Grant Thorpe is to just stay on the track here. Grant Turner getting ever so closer, now running in 11th is the 39. Got one more point closer to him. The gap between them, by my very loose math right now, is about 6 points. So if the 39 were to pick up a couple more spots and something were to happen to the 77 where he had to retire the car, there's 3 more spots he could lose there on that lap or within the next couple. So it is critical for the 77's playoff chances to stay on the racetrack here.
Yeah, the good news for Grant Thorpe is that there are only another 3 cars behind him within about 20 laps. The bad news for the driver in 18.
Oh, Trevor Keith falling down the timing table.
Trevor Keith is on pit road. What happened to the 15? Quick stop, only 5 seconds. Could he not make it on fuel? Is he on the 2-stop strategy?
He might be.
That could
Trying something different.
be, that's different. Let me tell you, that changes things. Now we have the question, can Kyle Diaz make it on fuel? He might be right on the edge. Burns, we know, can make it. He stretched it farther than anyone. But the first drivers to hit pit road, Diaz, McGeorge, and Travis Gilbert, can they make it on fuel? Another question in a riddle-filled race here at the Roval.
That was a pretty impressive sentence, just to completely break the illusion of the fourth wall here for a second. That was pretty impressive work there, bud.
Well, I do what I can. Maybe I should add that to the demo tape. Who knows? Anyway,
Maybe.
It's been great stuff here today. Racing Revolution has done a phenomenal job, as always, providing us here in the V-Speed booth with a great race to call. And if you like what you hear, if you like what you see, make sure to stick around a little while longer. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification icon as we have a battle for the lead. Burns has caught up to Diaz.
Now the question's going to be if Kyle Diaz can make it on fuel or if not, doesn't matter. How much of a defense can he put up against the 9? Burns has won all 4 of the road course races prior to this one this season. Diaz trying to be the first man to knock him off his throne. Will he be able to get it done?
Travis Gilbert on pit road answers the question. I don't know if any of these drivers who pitted on the first lap of the sequence, if they can make it to the end of the race. The other 2, Kyle Diaz and Jackson McGeorge, have to hit the pit lane by my calculation. Does it happen this time? Does the Fruity Pebbles, Camaro make the hard left-hand turn? Orlando getting passed by a few drivers here. That is not going to help the playoff situation, as Grant Turner's up to 10.
That's the highest he's run all day long. And at a critical time, too, knowing that the 77's been having some troubles. Gets him 1 point closer. The gap between those 2, by my math, now only 5 points.
Keith back around the 66 of Lynn's. Move the 15 into the 6th position. Chasing down Alex Forget, who we have not mentioned barely at all today. A surprisingly quiet day for the driver of the 19, who, much like his racing idol, Martin Truex Jr., solid on road courses and a quietly good road course racer.
Oh, Burns just took the lead.
He did. He got him up the hill. New leader, Jeremy Burns, in the 9. Kyle Diaz right on the back bumper. Does he still have anything for driver 9? Mountain Man's going to pull away on the NASCAR 1 and 2. As those 2 are clear of the field by about 5 seconds over Jackson McGeorge.
I wonder if the 26 can't make it on fuel. I wonder if this is the moment he pulls the trigger and comes down pit road now with the 9 just having gotten around him.
I think you'd have to. You want to give as much gap to Jackson McGeorge behind you as possible. And they're running about the same lap times, so it's such a difficult call. And 26 not coming down this time. What about McGeorge? No, not pitting either. They might wait till the very last lap to make that pit stop. Possibly even after the white flag. Or after the white flag, on the white flag lap, come down pit road for the shorter distance. Potentially could be a play here.
That would certainly be a strategy. I had not once considered that to be an option, but I suppose it would be. And if you're going to be running on fumes, pit road speed probably not going to be a huge issue anyway.
Let me tell you, I don't want to be a Racing Rev admin if that's what you got to deal with at the end of the race. Is that legal? I don't know, but we might just find out here later in the show. Grant Turner now back to 12th. Lost 2 spots in the blink of an eye. Travis Gilbert is back up to 13th after making the pit stop 2 laps ago. Can we make it to the end on fuel? Burns can. What about Diaz? What about McGeorge? How about Raider? Forget.
It's been a quiet day for that 53 as well. Both him and the 19 have just kind of slowly minded their business today, and they're both running inside the top 6 here when it matters most.
With how the playoffs has gone for driver 53, he wants a quiet one. It has been, other than the Bristol win, an awful, dreadful, horrible playoffs for Rob Raider. Missed a couple races due to unforeseen circumstances, had a connection issue, and now he's on pit road. Cannot make it to the end on fuel. What do the points look like for driver 53, the Rocket?
Well, I will let you know whenever he cycles back off of pit road. He was looking pretty good before coming down pit road, but it depends on how long he sits there. Could impact how much breathing room he'll still have when he gets back on track here. There's not a whole lot of time left to make something happen either, in case he is in a tough spot. And tell you what, Grant Turner doing his best to try and keep himself in the hunt here, battling for 12th with Travis Gilbert.
Gilbert going to slide it in there. Is he able to make the pass? Yes, he will get around Grant, the toes Turner. Turner back now to the 13th position. 21 off the racetrack, giving way to the lead lap cars. Classically renewed by the Candyman. Look at this gaggle of cars, though. Lined up from
everything
Robinson.
Getting stacked up behind Robinson.
Robinson
to the
in 8th.
inside.
Oh man, this
goes
is
Gilbert.
That's going to hurt the momentum of the 39. 22 catches the outside wall ever so slightly. Yeah, 8th to 13th, all in this line. Although Turner now going to lose that line by about a second. You have to work to get it back. Caught the lap car in the wrong place at the wrong time. Can Justice Murphy get a spot? A couple drivers in here really need those points. Kevin Orlando Jr. in 11th, Travis Gilbert in 12th, and Grant Turner in 13th. Need all the points they can get, and there are 5 of them right in front of them.
Yeah, the one on the outside looking in right now are both of Kevin Orlando Jr. and Grant Turner. Orlando Jr. about 13 points back of the loose cut line here. Grant Turner now back down to 13, sits about 8 points back of that line.
Who is
trying
that
to track
line?
down both a tie between Justice Murphy and Grant Thorpe.
Goodness gracious. So the driver running
I
around
have
an
them
18th.
both at I have them both scored at 2,090. I have Grant Turner scored at 2,082.
So Grant Thorpe, the first driver 1 lap down, has another 16 seconds out the rear view to the Candyman Daniel Holloway. Likely not going to get there with only 6 laps to go. Might just be enough for the 77.
Yeah, the important thing for him, he just has to keep staying on this lap. He can't afford to give up any more laps to the leader and potentially lose out another spot to Holloway or Picklesheimer. And for Orlando or Grant Thorpe, you got to make something happen at this point.
Absolutely. Oh, we are dooring each other. Orlando's off the track.
Whoa.
So is the 39.
That might have been a really, really bad case of the commentator's curse when I said to make something happen, maybe not going through the chicane.
And for both the drivers you mentioned also to get off the racetrack at the same time, that, sir, is a 2-for-1. Well done. Well done. Those
Thank
are rare.
you.
Those
Or
don't happen very often.
apologize. Depends on who I'm talking to after the race for that one. But that was wild.
That was wild. And here comes Travis Gilbert again. Big dive to the inside.
Oh,
14 locked
Bennett
him
got
up.
a massive piece of the back bumper of the 27 there. Al on the back bumper of the 22.
He's going to give him a push.
Battering ram from the Slurp Soda machine.
Yes, let's see if he's able to get back around the 22, even though he's not in the playoffs. Last week's winner, Michael Bennett, driving like he stole it. Grant Turner to the inside. Can the 39 get around? Yes, he can. Oh, he's big block. Oh, my goodness. Chopped the nose in a big way. I'm sure that will not please driver 14. That's going to help Grant Turner's chances. McGeorge gets around Diaz as Diaz hits pit road, finally. 4 laps to go here at the Charlotte Roval. It has been a thrilling race so far.
That it has, and it might not be a win today for Kyle Diaz, but one hell of a drive from the driver of the 26 machine. Running up in the top 3 all day long, and is going to have a chance to potentially finish there as well when this cycles off of pit road.
He'll cycle
We'll
out.
have to try and track down Trevor Keith, but
4th position is where he'll cycle. Trevor Keith is going to cycle out right in front of him. Look at that. And Forget right behind him, so well timed for driver 26. Might be able to get that podium. McGeorge, can he make it on fuel? I don't think he can. He is the only driver, the only lone holdout who pitted the first lap of the pit window, which I think was 21, or was 1 lap too soon, 21 laps total in the fuel run. Does he hit pit lane this time by through the final chicane? Up through the gears. Yes, he is going to pit this time. Podium may change hands again. Tyler Harrison also on pit road, 4 laps down in the 45. Remember, he could not make it. He got that damage at the worst possible time. Burns, good to not have to pit for the rest of this race.
at least I believe he stretched it further than anybody, so he's probably in good shape. But
he stretched
yeah,
it.
we've had a lot of cars come down pit road, so you never know.
He stretched it 21 the first time, only 18 on this second run. If he can't make that, I would be very surprised. That's a 3-lap difference here. That's a lot of miles at the Charlotte Roval. McGeorge going to slide into the 6th position. Cycles out right in front of the wounded 77. And Rob Rader in 7th. Diaz
a really
up to
good
3rd.
day for Diaz and for Jackson McGeorge. You know, a couple of non-playoff guys. Been running in the top 5 all day long. I mean, you can add Forget to that mix once he got up into the top group as well. I mean, there's been a couple of non-playoff guys who have just had really quality runs here tonight.
I would absolutely say this 98 is closing out the season strong. He has been a threat at the front of the field for a lot of the back part of this season. Won a pole at a race, if I'm not mistaken. Led some laps here, led some laps there. Has had a great last 10 or so races. Good work, Jackson McGeorge, finishing the season off strong. I tip my cap to you, sir. Running in 6th today. Trevor Keith, connection issue. Oh yes, look at that. And he's back.
That would have really thrown a wrench in things if that was not a connection issue and that's just actually how the 15 car looked. But
yeah, that would be less
luckily
than
for him, he forges on.
He knows that KSX Racing graphics, inverted diamond, probably what he calls that one. It doesn't look blown up. Good looking machine there. Designed out himself. Currently running in the 3rd spot. I'm sure he'll tell us about it if he's able to hold on to this spot over Alex Forget, who is right there.
He honestly might have a chance at him.
In front of Burns.
Yeah, someone trying to get going through the chicane.
That's Parker Johnston. 48 car, last driver on the lead lap. Playoff driver as well. Not sure if he's in contention anymore for the top 8. Oh, Burns in the grass. Goodness gracious, man. Keep it on the racetrack, good sir. Because the white flag is out, presented by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. Jeremy Burns loves to see that white flag at a road course. For the 5th time this season, he's going to start on the pole. He's going to lead the most laps. Can he break out the broom and go 5 for 5 on road courses in the 2024 season? Incredible to even say that. Phenomenal battle. A little further back, Orlando, Grant Turner, Robinson, and Bennett all fighting. Who's going to get into the playoffs? Who's going to get in to the round of 8? As for the final time tonight, Burns down the backstretch into the final chicane.
It's just been a masterclass from the 9, being able to stretch that fuel in that middle stint. Didn't have to come down pit road late, and just put him in a prime spot here.
Incredible work for driver 9. The Mountain Man is going to win at the Charlotte Roval to go 5 for 5 on the road courses this year. Incredible drive for Jeremy Burns. You can see the excitement in his face, and I'd be excited too if I got 5 wins in a season, period, let alone dominating the road courses.
Yeah.
Winning every session that counts. I mean, that's unbelievable. 5 poles, 5 wins, 5 fastest laps, and 5 most laps led. I can't believe that I'm saying those words and not talking about Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I mean, really, but I mean, to that level, and like, this is an incredibly talented league. We've seen some phenomenal races this year. We've had a bunch of different winners, and yet, you know, when it comes road course time, it's just a whole different gear that the 9 car can get into.
Still have not quite finished the race. There are a few drivers still completing their laps, 8 of them by my count. Should be wrapping up here shortly. There's 2 of them. It's like 4 more to go here. Jacob Sirkovich and Christian Bresnok, the last 2. Bresnok's on pit road, so we are now officially completed the race. I just saw Picklesheimer fly through the screen. But let's watch Jeremy Burns burn this thing down. Wow. He earned it all
That he
season
did.
long. And I mean, he already clinched into the round of 8, but this just puts a cherry on top. Two wins in this round, Kansas and Charlotte. We'll chat with your race winner and points leader in just a few. Kyle Diaz, great run, finishing in 2nd. Trevor Keith going to wrap it up in the 3rd spot. That is your top 3 here today for a thrilling race at the Charlotte Roval. Why don't you go grab our winner and let's talk with Jeremy Burns. Well, Jeremy Burns, it's Morgan and Alex up in the VSP booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I mean, I said it on the pace lap. I said it on at the end of the race. 5 for 5, 5 poles, 5 times the most laps led, 5 times the fastest lap, and 5 times a winner on road courses this season. What does that mean to you as a driver, and what does that mean to you as a teammate for Element X, moving them on undoubtedly into the next round of the playoffs?
I mean, it's just such a special feeling knowing that I can contribute to an excellent team like that. We had such a great week of practice, honestly, where you know, it was one of those things where we timed it out and we saw how the fuel and everything went. But overall, you know, that's 5 wins. That's at 3 points apiece. That's 15 points, you know, for each round of the playoffs. And I mean, that's a huge advantage when you get into the actual details of it and you see what something like that can do to your season. So really happy, not only for me but for the team. We're gonna go fight for a team championship next round. But overall, I can't be more ecstatic. I know that I pride myself with the road courses, and I've even proven that I can win other places as well. But really, on the road courses, especially with the raw pace, I felt like I was there all year. And I mean, tonight was more of a strategy thing than anything. I was the only one that was able to do the one stopper. So definitely really cool to have that. And I mean, it's something I'll soak in, and I gotta get the broom out or something because I mean, we swept them, man.
Absolutely, break out the broom because you swept all 5. Something I still just can't. Like that's insane. 5 wins on the same type of racetrack, but none of these racetracks are even remotely similar to each other. Coda, long straightaways, very technical sections. You have Watkins Glen, which is fast and flowing. You have Sonoma, where there is not a straightaway to speak of. The Chicago street course, which is just a bunch of 90-degree corners slapped together. And then this borderline monstrosity of a racetrack inside the Charlotte Oval, which has zero flow at all, but you somehow made them all work. Every single road course this year. Don't you love my descriptions of these tracks? Every road course this year, different layouts. You're able to win every one of them. A phenomenal drive. Just incredible stuff here. Just kind of walk us through what you're feeling, and tell us a little bit about driving with this field and how much they've stepped it up since Coda earlier this year.
You know, they really have put in a lot of work. I know that each road course there's somebody new. You know, TK was very prevalent. It was very prevalent tonight, and he's been there the entire season. But you see guys like Kyle Diaz, he's up there fighting for it. Trevor Keith, huge shout out to them. Travis Gilbert, like I said, has been up there. And the team has improved greatly too. I know that I wanted Chicago Street more than any other road course this year because of last year and getting taken out on lap 1. And that was the only one that I hadn't won. So overall, we came back and we had a goal this season to win every single one of them. And you know, there's a huge weight that's lifted off of the chest when you can look at somebody and say, you know what, I won all the road courses in 1 year. And it's just such an amazing feeling to finally say that I've accomplished it. It's been a goal that I've been waiting for 2 years now. So being able to lift that off, there's only one thing left really, and that's, you know, to win Phoenix. So overall, just I couldn't be more happy. I don't know if you caught it in the victory lap, but I just won this track in particular is so physically demanding. So being able to have some energy left, that just shows you how excited you have to be. But overall, it was a very great race. It's been a heck of a season on the road courses, and oh my gosh, man, we're gonna head to the round of 8 where, you know, our team has won every race except Dega. So in general, as a team perspective wise, we've had a very successful playoff run, and we look to continue that into the round of 8 and hopefully to the championship there at Phoenix.
Absolutely. Well, Jeremy, the moment you've been waiting for a while, why don't you break out that cell phone and read through your thank you list, your shout out list, and maybe go write this one on that table. I think you earned it.
Yeah, thank you. A huge shout out to everybody up here at VSP, my mom and dad, Josie, Dylan, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, Miss Betsy for their continued support, Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shan, Belinda, Betty, and Frankie. Any of the supporters, Element X, Chapman Environmental for being on the hood this entire season. I couldn't thank them enough. Buttkicker, Coastal Financial, Ultimate Exterior Lighting, Erhardt Homes, All About Bugs, Blue Ridge Volunteer Fire Department for coming on and sponsoring this race. The admins and the other drivers that make this league so competitive and make it what it is. And anybody else who made this possible, anybody out there in the YouTube chat who got to experience this tonight and who's been able to experience it all year. It's been a heck of a season, and this is definitely one of the races that I'll remember for a while, man.
As will we. It was a fun one here at Chicago. Not Chicago. How about Charlotte? It's a fun one here. I don't even know where we are anymore. Fun one here at the Charlotte Roval. Congratulations, Jeremy, on 5 for 5 here on the road courses. Congratulations, and we'll see you in the round of 8.
Yes, sir. Thank you to the donor as well. That was really generous, and I can't wait to pay it forward to the charity.
Right on. That's your winner tonight, Jeremy Burns. All right, we're going to have a quick commercial break here. When we come back, we will have the results and interviews with second and third place. You've been watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, presented by Racing Revolution. The Neighbors Helping Neighbors 125, presented by the Blue Ridge Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company. We'll be back right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The ball gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Swack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Back here on V-Speed for the post-race show. Following the race here at the Charlotte Roval, here's how it went down. 1 caution for the stage, 2 lead changes. And Jeremy Burns wins from the pole again. Just chatted with driver 9, Mountain Man. A great run tonight. Another great run for Kyle Diaz in the 26. Showed he's been working on the road courses. He finishes in the second spot. The gap looks large. Remember, Burns only stopped once in the last stage. Everyone else stopped twice, leading to that massive gap in the pace there. Trevor Keith finishes in the 3rd spot. Great playoff points day for the driver of the 15. Alex Forget going to finish in 4th. Carter Linz in the 5th spot. Jackson McGeorge in 6th, where he started. Rob Rader in 7th. Justice Murphy going to finish in 8th. Travis Gilbert in 9th. Remember, he started at the end of the field, finishes in the top 10. Kevin Orlando Jr. didn't do what he needs to do to finish in the top 10. Grant Turner in 11th. Matt Robinson finishes 12th. Michael Bennett in 13th. Caleb Gilbert in 14th. Alves finishes the 15th spot here tonight. And Jacob Sirkovich, the last driver on the lead lap, in the 16th position. Parker Johnston with the T going to finish 17th. The first driver 1 lap down. Grant Thorpe will finish in 18th. Daniel Holloway 19th. Picklesheimer in the 20th position. 21st, Tyler Harrison after a rough night. Brendan Richardson retired it early. So did Christian Bresnock, Chris Nail, and Devin Hudgens. They will finish 22nd through 25th. And that's a look at your results for the race today. Now let's talk about the points. Drivers who are eliminated from the playoffs. Parker Johnston, 28, unofficially I should say. Unofficially, 28 below the cut line. Tyler Harrison, unofficially, 22 below the cut line. Kevin Orlando Jr., unofficially, 12 below the cut line. And Grant the Toes Turner, unofficially, 6 below the cut line, meaning Grant Thorpe, Justice Murphy, Travis Gilbert, Rob Rader, Trevor Keith, Caleb Gilbert, and Carter Linz unofficially, as well as Jeremy Burns, officially, but unofficially for the other ones, will make the round of 8. We'll wait for the official word, and we'll have that possibly during this broadcast, but more than likely next week to start the show. We'll have an official look at who made the round of 8 and who did not make the round of 8. But until then, let's interview second and third. Alex has caught up with Kyle Diaz.
That I have. Hey there, Kyle. This is Alex and Morgan up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, Kyle. It was a fun one to watch you out there tonight. I mean, you were all up in the top 3 basically the entire evening. Took the lead for a little bit as well, and really put on a great show for folks there. A good battle with you and Trevor Keith there in the middle of that. You and Jeremy Burns. Just talk to us a little bit about your race and what you were seeing up battling for the podium all night.
Yeah, I had a great time racing with Trevor Keith, Burns, and also Lynn's there throughout the whole race. You know, we raced hard but respectfully, but most of all, I'm just proud of the freaking finish that I put up here tonight, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a finish worth celebrating. I mean, obviously, Jeremy Burns has been something else on these road courses, but it was mostly due to the fuel strategy situation tonight. You had an incredible amount of pace in that 26 car tonight. And I mean, obviously, weren't maybe in that road course conversation earlier on in the year, but definitely ended it that way. Talk to us a little bit about, just the progression that you saw this year as these road courses came and went from the start of the year to now.
Yeah, always felt pretty strong at the road courses, but I've had a few mishaps throughout the year. But Sonoma went good, Watkins Glen was all right, and here tonight at the Roval was awesome. So just proud to be putting in the work here at the road courses and getting the job done, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the highest finishing non-playoff driver tonight. A great run for you. Only a couple races left this year. I know we go to Vegas next week. Do any of the remaining tracks jump out to you as ones where you think you could put that 26 car in victory lane for the first time this season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Next week, Las Vegas, that's one of my favorite tracks. And earlier in the year, I was running up front, but an unfortunate missed time caution kind of ended my race there. But it's an awesome racetrack, 3 wide a lot of the time there. So hopefully we can put on a good show next week.
Alrighty, well, we're excited to see it. We had a good time tonight. I'm sure we're going to have a great time next week as well in Vegas. Excited to see what you do there, especially with the good run you had going earlier in the year. Kyle, anyone you'd like to shout out here tonight for your second place run?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my mom and my dad, my team at Racing for Freedom, especially Ray Lane. I have to give him a big shout out because he gave me a lot of pointers and tips to bring this 26 car home in a second place finish tonight. So shout out to him.
Alrighty. Well, hey, Kyle, congrats on the second place finish. Thanks for joining us here in the booth, and hopefully we get to talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, thank you guys. Hopefully next week.
And that was driver of the 26, Kyle Diaz, a strong second place finish here tonight.
Now Alex is going to put on his sprinting shoes and see if he can go catch up. With third place, Trevor Keith.
Hey there, Trevor. This is Alex Morgan up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, came into today needing 1 point on the cut line, and you left getting all the points you needed and then some. Great run for you. Third in the stage, third overall. Doing enough to advance to the round of 8 by my very bad math calculations.
It's
talk
out.
to us a
They
little bit.
posted it. So sorry,
Is
I didn't
it
mean to cut you
official?
off. Yes, they cut.
No
They
worries.
posted it. I'm +7 to the good. So.
Alrighty. Well, did what you needed to do here tonight. Trevor, talk to us a little bit about your race. It seemed like you were up in that top 5, top 3 conversation all night long.
Yeah, that was probably the most eventful third place finish I've had on a road course. I knew I was faster than Carter, but I just kind of coasted the first stage, and I wasn't going to try to make any mistakes. Second stage, I was like, all right, let's go get him. And that's when I made a mistake. Spun, fell to like 10th, and I was like, nope, now we're going to have to drive. And we did. We got all the way back up to second, and I was shocked by that. And then my wheel likes to disconnect sometimes, and I can't shift. So coming out of the bus stop, in the lowest gear you're in all race, the whole track, it decides to do it. So I'm stuck in second going around the oval. And that's when Diaz got me again. And you guys probably saw me just blink all over the place. So, hi, Mara. That was eventful. And then to top it all off, we go to the start finish line to take our picture, and my shifter breaks. So here it is right here. So
Unbelievable.
there are all sorts of problems, and we still came away third.
Wow. You weren't kidding when you were saying an eventful third place run for you tonight. A far cry from, like the second place at Sonoma, where you're kind of just second the whole way around. A bit more action-packed this evening at the Roval.
And I'm telling you, a lot of these guys are getting better and better at this. I mean, Kyle Diaz, I say that he passed me because of my stuff, but he had speed all day. He was only a second behind me. one mistake by me, and he's around me still. So, and I couldn't get past him again. Um, so I mean, Carter was up there all day. I'm not really sure what happened to him, but I mean, he's second in the stage, and he was flying. I mean, he was giving Jeremy a run for his money for a while. So a lot of these guys are catching Jeremy. Jeremy better not slack off because they'll be there here soon.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question, but you more or less answered it of just the overall improvement in the field from like Coda to now on these road courses. A lot more competitive action in that top 5, top 10 group tonight. I mean, we had a ton of stuff to watch all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Just tell us a little bit. I mean, was this a race that you enjoyed battling up there in that group, or were you nervous at all knowing the points situation was pretty precarious coming into tonight?
I know how strong I am at these road courses, or I've been, but I also don't take for granted how much better these guys are getting. And I knew that I was going to have a challenge on my hands, whether it be Grant, Travis, Kyle, Carter. I mean, Alex finished 4th; he started 10th. So, I knew if I came away with no mistakes, I had a guaranteed top 5, more than likely. And then once we got into the race, I realized I am the second fastest car again, and just made a mistake, pretty big one. Spun in turn, turn 3. I don't think I spun there once. The whole time I was practicing, just got in there a little hot. Yeah, but yeah, I had a blast. I love the Roval. At least on here, watching it on NASCAR is a different story, but racing the Roval myself, I love racing it. It's one of my better road courses on the schedule, and I have a blast here. I do wish we had that turn 7 like they did in the real race, because it would have generated another place to pass. It's really hard to pass here. Like I couldn't pass Diaz unless I wrecked him for second there, and I wasn't gonna wreck him like that. So
I'm sure he probably is glad that you went that decision as well.
we got close.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of close calls throughout the field here today. I want to ask you now, going into the round 8, you got Vegas, Homestead, and then Martinsville, a couple of mile and a halves, and then the short track to end the round. Just loose estimation, how do you feel you're going to stack up here with that sort of schedule layout?
I feel really good at the mile and a halves. Besides Kansas, the second Kansas, for some reason, I was just off that day. I don't know, but I've been really good at the mile and a halves. Vegas, I was running second. At the end of that race, it came into the pits and missed my pit box and restarted 22nd. And you know what happens when you put yourself in the back.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I had a pretty good chance to win that Vegas race if I don't mess up my pit box there. So I'm feeling pretty confident about Vegas. Homestead maybe need to get a little bit better. Last year I think I tried to run the top the whole race and it just ate away my tires. So we'll figure that out. I got good teammates there that'll help me out with that one. They've helped me all year, getting better at saving tires, these mile and a halves and stuff. Martinsville, we just got to survive Martinsville, I think. Just get two good finishes in the first 2 where Martinsville isn't as stressful. I think is probably what we need to do.
I would absolutely believe it. Well, Trevor, thank you so much for joining us up here. It's been fun to have you up here on another podium result here on the road courses. Anyone you'd like to shout out this evening?
Yeah, we're going to shout out KSX. We got the orange diamond, I like to call it. Different number font today. I like the number font a little better. Wanted to change it up a little bit. We're going to play off orange. Might run her till the end of the year. Kind of a little bad luck though, so we'll see. Think all about bugs, all the league sponsors, Chapman Environmental Services, Coastal Financial, Ultimate Exterior Lighting, Buttkicker, Erhardt Homes, V-Speed, you guys as well. You guys always do a great job. Can't wait to go back and watch this one and see some of the stuff that I missed while I was racing. I'd also like to thank Beyonce, just in case.
You never know. You never
take
know.
any chances out here.
Well, Trevor, thanks for joining us up here in the booth. It's been fun, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again next week at Las Vegas.
Oh, I hope so. Also, remember, racing isn't about fast cars. It's about the friends made along the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more myself. And with that,
Have a
we
good
will
one.
send the 15 off to celebrate his podium result here tonight. That was Trevor Keith, driver of that KSX 15, bringing it home third after starting third, but to his point, a very eventful podium run here tonight.
Absolutely was here tonight an eventful race for all the drivers, but especially for Trevor Keith, who, with the half spin, was able to bring it back up to the third position. You've been watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution. The Neighbors Helping Neighbors 125 presented by the Blue Ridge Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company. The Blue Ridge Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company is a fire department within the Blue Ridge Mountains of Northern Virginia. We proudly serve the community with the goal of neighbors helping neighbors. Working together with the community, we'll be here for those in need. For more information, please visit our website, blueridgefire.org. Now we can look ahead on the schedule. Please join us October 23rd. The Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series travels to Sin City for the opening race in the round of 8 at Las Vegas at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on V-Speed as we bring you flag-to-flag coverage all season long. Alex and I were talking about it earlier. This is race number 30. If you want to include the All-Star race as well as the Clash and the Duels, this is race 34 we've had on V-Speed for you. We've been here all season long, and we hope that you will stick with us for the final 4 races. If you've enjoyed tonight's race, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a race. Hit the notification icon if you haven't already, as we have more content throughout the week. It never ends here on V-Speed, and it's racing you can't get anywhere else. But for everyone here at V-Speed, Bradley Cooper, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, and of course my co-commentator, Alex Gagnon, I've been Morgan Cook. Thank you. Have a great evening and good night. It's been a fun one. We'll see you next time here on V-Speed.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.